Hi, I'm Max.
Hi, and I'm Denise.
And welcome back to another edition of Urban Lifestyles. We're out at the Iroquois Amphitheater for the 4th annual Derby City Jazz Festival, and it has been fantastic. A great venue, the people love it, and the music has just been out of this world.
Sound like too much bourbon tasting for you.
Could be correct.
It's been wonderful. All the entities, the venue, the artists, just the flow of the people and the whole culture here has just been phenomenal.
She's correct, so we're going to take a quick break and back with more of Urban Lifestyles right after this.
We're more than an energy company.
We are mothers,
Fathers,
neighbors, and friends.
Working hard when the weather is good.
And even harder when it's not.
with online updates to keep you safe and informed during the storm.
Programs to save you energy and money.
And new projects to help us provide cleaner, more reliable energy.
We're more than an energy company.
We are LG&E.
We're LG&E.
We are LG&E.
Our energies go to serving you.
We added a new segment to the Derby City Jazz Festival this year, and it was called Fabulous and Fit After 50. And Denise, I'll let you take it from here.
Well, basically, first time around, but for women who are fabulous and fit after 50, keynote speaker Donna Richardson joined her, and was it a treat? But let's just take a look. This is an exciting Saturday morning because in conjunction with the Derby City Jazz Festival, 4th year in, we're having another event, and it's called Fit and Fabulous After 50. We're having a really fabulous speaker, Miss Donna Richardson, national motivator, I would say fitness expert, author, and I'm going to let her tell more about herself. But Donna, welcome to Urban Lifestyles.
I'm very honored and excited to be here. And it's really about us coming together and just learning how to live our best life.
A lot of people may ask, and they have been asking when they wanted to come, what is this supposed to be about? And some people are thinking, well, I'm not really fit physically, but I've said it's going to encompass a whole lot more. So
it's beyond being physically fit, because we know that in order to be healthy, it's important for you to be healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. So it's all of that. That's, every aspect of our life.
Sometimes I think about being beyond 50, and I'm glad to be, is that, I wish I had this wisdom when I was in my 30s. What do you speak about that?
I think we all probably have those thoughts, but man, when you do get it, it's a nice feeling. Because, sometimes when you're younger, you have to go through things in order to get the experience to get where we are now when we have the wisdom. And now that we have the wisdom and knowledge, we still are growing and evolving into the women that God is creating us to be. So I don't know if it would have made a difference if we had more knowledge then, because you got to go through some stuff to get to where we are now. And without that, we wouldn't be who we are. The more we are, think about the more experiences we have, the more we exposed to. That's how we grow, and that's how we become stronger. And that's how we, at this age, you're beautiful at 65. I'm 56. My mom's 79. We got it going on. And it's all about not just the exterior, but in the interior. We're beautiful inside out.
One of the things I hope will be a pearl that we cover this morning is about, you get so many ages and stages where we are now, and there's always challenges that come aboard. Or for some people, what we've gone through, did it make us bitter or did it make us better? What can you shed light on
I think
to
that's
that?
A choice. Life is about choices and consequences. So I think you have to make a choice to decide how you're going to deal with it. And I choose, and I'll give you an example. A lot of times when you look at us, we've gone through breakups, we've gone maybe through divorces. It's how you choose to handle that situation. And I chose to be positive. I chose to be loving. I was able to really, God gave me the grace to forgive. And it wasn't overnight. It took some time. But after I learned the grace to forgive, it was forgiving my former husband, also forgiving me. And I was hard on myself. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm successful at everything I do. How come I'm not successful at that? But it takes two to tango. But once you learn to forgive, then you can give up that power that person has over you. Because when you were talking, you mentioned, sometimes you get angry and bitter and resentful. You don't have to deal with that because you have forgiven. So that means you can let go. And I always say you can let go and move on.com. It's a beautiful thing. But then you also have to know how to love. Choose to love, because even if you do get to the point where you are broken and it's very challenging, I always tell people, get up so you don't get comfortable being down. And that is about loving yourself.
Well, I know this morning it was all about the ladies, so I did my very best to stay away, but it looks like you all had a fabulous time.
There was so much wisdom gleaned there, and Donna, just the way she presented there was so much buy-in from the audience. And then the lady that was there, who was 101 years old, the whole thing was phenomenal. And everybody's feedback was that we got to do this again.
So what you think was one of the major takeaways from the event?
It was just improving yourself, mind, body, and spirit.
All right. We'll take another break and back with more right after this.
#1 station for R&B.
Can we swim a lake by the ocean?
Magic 101.3.
Give me that green light. With your permission.
We're live, local, and Louisville. Magic 101.3, the home of Steve Harvey and Morning Show.
Please tell us about day one.
Day one was the lineup for Saturday. Listen to this: Trey Daniels, Reagan Whiteside, Lindsay Webster, Adam Hawley, along with Lynn Roundhouse, Rashawn Patterson, Marian Meadows, and Joey Somerville. And then there was the jam session, and it was phenomenal.
So take a look at this.
At the Derby City Jazz Festival, 4th year in. The music has been amazing, but this artist right here put it down. I want to introduce you to Miss Reagan Whiteside. And Reagan, welcome to Urban Lifestyles and Derby City Jazz Festival.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I've heard of you before. I've heard a little bit of your music, but not like the way you performed it. You played the flute, and I think you call that a flautist.
Yes, I'm a flautist.
And then when you turned around and did the percussion, I'm like, what? Tell me about your beginning of how you started with the flute and then all your instruments. Because she definitely has full command of the instruments.
I've always been just interested in music. I didn't want to play with toys. I just wanted to play with instruments. Music was always my thing. So when I was 5 years old, I started with piano, played a little drums, played some violin, and then I just eventually just learned all of the instruments, and it was always just something I loved to do.
Playing the flute is, to me, it's a little bit different. What made you decide that it's the flute that you love?
It kind of happened by accident, because I wanted to play the drums in elementary school, and they said no, only the boys were playing the drums. And then I said, well, I want to play trumpet. And they said, well, we ran out of trumpets. And I said, well, what do you have left? And they said the flute and the clarinet. And I didn't feel like dealing with reeds, so I said, okay, I'll take the flute.
Okay, hi, Tyler here, and I'm here with the incomparable Trey Daniels. He just got off the stage of the 2019 Derby City Jazz Festival. And Trey, just give me 1 second, because I have to say that it was like 2 years ago, I saw him on stage in Atlanta, and I came up to him and I was like, my dad has a jazz festival. I was like, and you have to come. So I'm so happy to say and pleased, I'm tipping my hat that he's here now for the 2019 Jazz Festival. Trey, what did you think?
It was absolutely amazing. The crowd, the energy was off the charts. The band sounded great. I had an amazing time.
Okay, and I'm in the Jazz Festival land because my parents do this, but is this your first Jazz Festival?
This is actually my first jazz festival.
Okay, amazing. Now, that means nothing, because Trey is actually on tour with Anita Baker, another incomparable artist. And what is that like? And how did you get with Anita Baker?
Well, it started with a phone call. Her music director out of Atlanta called me. It was initially just to play 3 dates at the Fox in Atlanta, but turned into a whole tour. But it's amazing learning so much from her about the musical industry and how to hold yourself as an artist and branding. It's just amazing to be with her.
Oh, you should be here at the Derby City Jazz Festival at the Iroquois Park Amphitheater. I have one of the best performers, I have to say, guitarist. I first heard him last year when he performed here, and I told my husband, when we have the Jazz Festival, we've got to get him. His name is Adam Hawley. Adam, welcome to Urban Lifestyle.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here. And you're exactly right. I was here a year ago. Had so much fun playing with the Summer Horns. Yeah. Dave Koz, Richard Elliott, Gerald Albright, Rick Braun, Aubrey Logan. And so it's great to bring my show this year. And love come to Louisville. Had a bunch of bourbon last night, so I'm trying to fit in.
Well, last year, when they said, well, we want to introduce you to this new guitarist coming on the scene, and I remember saying to myself, let me see what he's working with. Yeah. And I was leaning in like E.F. Hutton, and I'm like, oh my God. So when you so young on person, far away on the stage, I couldn't see you. So when did you start playing the guitar, and what piqued your interest for that instrument?
Yeah, so I started guitar at 9, and it's really funny. It's actually a funny story. My mom was really worried I was going to get wrapped up in sex, drugs, rock and roll, and so she made me play the piano, which I'm so glad she did. So that was actually my first instrument at 8, and then I started guitar at 9, and then I've been doing it 25 years. I'm 34 now, so, you know.
Okay, another great artist, performer, Mr. Lynn Roundhouse. You know, welcome to Urban Lifestyles and Derby City Jazz Festival.
So
glad to have you.
I love being here.
Hey, the crowd loved you. Clearly, you had full command. Yeah, you did, of your instrument.
Yeah.
And the first thing comes to mind, Lynn, for me is, how did you happen to pick that instrument?
Oh man, I beat myself over the head every day for picking that. I should have been a guitar player or something like that. It's tough, but you know what? I came to play it because my father played it. He played the cornet.
Talk about what you played.
Let me play a quick. I'm gonna tell you a quick little story. My father played the cornet, and he stopped, but he had the cornet on the mantelpiece at the house when I was growing up. And he said, "Look, this house is yours. Everything here is yours. This front room is yours. The only thing you can't touch in this front room is that cornet." That's the Jedi mind trick. You know, that was back when Star Wars. He was a master Jedi. Of course, I touched it, and he put a little pin on it to see that I moved it. He said, "Oh, you touched it." And so now you got to play it. So I had to play it. So I played it in elementary school. I ended up going to high school. I loved it in high school. I got a scholarship to Florida A&M University to play. And at my high school graduation, he gave me that cornet. And he said, this is why I did what I did. And to this day, I'm a trumpet player.
Yeah.
Okay, at the Jazz Festival, the talent is incredible, and we have a songstress. Her name is Lindsay Webster. You won't believe the sound that she can, sing and just blast out of her throat and her mouth. But anyway, Lindsay, welcome to Urban Lifestyles and the Derby City Jazz Festival.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
I remember when I first heard you, I was driving in my car listening to Sirius Jazz Radio, and I'm like, who is that? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. When I saw that you were Caucasian, I'm like, that wasn't her.
That's my goal.
But it's incredible. It doesn't matter. So at what age did you start singing, and why this genre of music?
I started singing when I was very young. Ever since I can remember, I would sing along to my favorite TV theme songs and that kind of stuff. My parents saw that I was very, I gravitated towards music. My favorite singers were like Mariah Carey and Aretha Franklin and Chaka Khan and Whitney Houston and I met my partner Keith Slattery in 2009, and I wasn't writing really any music up until that point. Every now and again with some hip hop people and this little bit of things, nothing professional or serious really.
Don't tell them that. So Keith and I started writing together, and it just happened to be like this jazzy, soulful, kind of a little bit pop vocal production kind of thing, and we've just really developed our sound over time. And I can't really say that I said, oh, I'm going to write this genre of music. It just kind of happened.
Here at the Derby City Jazz Festival, a lot of phenomenal artists. Here's one of my faves, Marian Meadows. Marian Meadows, welcome back again. This is like year 4, and thank you for coming back and gracing our audience with all of your phenomenal talent.
Thank you for having me back, Denise. And you know what? I was just telling Max, you know, musicians like there's certain festivals that are their favorites. This one is definitely one of my favorite festivals. And not only that, you guys are family as well. But
thank you.
We love coming back here. I'm so excited to see how it's growing every year. And this venue is awesome.
I was going to ask you, how do you like the venue? It's more spread out than, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's fantastic. You know, I think you're going to have a lot of success here. And, you know, that's how festivals are. You know, people, you know, I love the shed environment when, you know, when people come out. And so if it happens to rain, we're still good.
It's another phenomenal artist. And I keep saying the adjective phenomenal because it's true. And this is Joy Somerville. And Joy, your instrument puts you in a position that I find so incredibly authentic and different because of how, you know, talk about what you play, because they're like, what does he play?
Well, I played the trumpet principally, but I also play the melodica, which is a kind of like a keyboard with reeds in it, and you blow through it. It doesn't make sound. If you blow through it and not press the keys, it doesn't make sound. You press the keys and don't blow through it, doesn't make sound. So the air has to pass the reeds to make the sound.
Well, you know, one thing that we're definitely trying to do is to keep the Derby City Jazz Festival fresh, and bringing in Trey Daniels and Reagan Whiteside and Adam Hawley and Lindsay Webster. It just really made all the difference in the show.
A blend of old and new, and a lot of people were surprised because there were some artists that they had never heard of before or had heard their music but not seen them perform, and it was off the hook.
And we'll take another break and back with more right after this.
We're more than an energy company.
We are mothers,
Fathers,
neighbors, and friends.
Working hard when the weather is good.
and even harder when it's not.
with online updates to keep you safe and informed during the storm.
Programs to save you energy and money.
And new projects to help us provide cleaner, more reliable energy.
We're more than an energy company.
We are LG&E.
We're LG&E.
We are LG&E.
Our energies go to serving you.
Hello, my name is James Brooks. I've been with the water company now for 13 years. I am in the back office portion of customer service. The best part for me is just seeing the fruits of my labor, being able to work directly with a customer, and I've been here now 13 years, so I have a rapport with a lot of customers, and both inside the office and out. So just seeing the benefits of what I get to do live, it's very beneficial for me. Best part of my work day, probably the end, because everything that I do, I get to see the end result immediately. There's not much in my position that I have to wait to see the results of, so seeing my list of work that I've gotten done for the day, that helps. Patience is probably the biggest skill that you have to have in the position that I'm in and the ones that I've been in prior to now. You can't take it personally. You have to keep a level head because they're not actually speaking with or at you, and it's kind of hard in the beginning to not take it that way. So one of the biggest things that I've learned is how to understand that they're not directing it directly at me. I'm their vessel to get the point across to the company. So having patience and that kind of even demeanor really does help. That's one of the biggest things I think that someone should have is patience. Well, working with Louisville Water Company in my time, that was one of the first things that I noticed. We had a banner in the wall in the atrium that basically said we had the country's greatest water, and for multiple years running, And so we have something that we do where we take our bottles on vacation with us or in places. So I look at myself as a advocate. Everywhere I go, I test the water, make comparisons. I keep my bottle with me everywhere I go. So I make sure that wherever I'm at, I let them know that this is the greatest water.
One of our partners is Ivy Bruno with State Farm Insurance.
Oh, she's wonderful. Always has a lot of great essential information.
So, Ivy, what do you have for us today?
Good morning. I'm Ivy Bruno with State Farm Insurance, and it is summertime, and most people are planning vacations and taking vacations right now. If you joined us in our last segment, you heard me say that people spend more time planning for vacation than they do planning for retirement. Well, that has got to change, and so today I'm going to give you a few key steps to get you to start thinking about retirement if you haven't already begun to do so. The first and foremost thing that you need to determine is at what age are you going to retire? The more time that you have between today and when that is, the more time you have to make adjustments to your investment portfolio. Once you've decided on what age you're going to retire, then you need to think about how much income am I going to need at retirement? Do I have to pay off my mortgage? Do I have to continue to pay for my mortgage? Am I going to have a car payment? What are my utility and extracurricular expenses going to be? So because you need to know that particular amount, we need to make sure that you have enough money at retirement. So one of the things I want you to do in retirement is have multiple streams of income. Your Social Security, which is not meant to be your sole source of income, it's meant to be a supplement. You also need to have a 401k plan or a 403b plan, and if you're lucky and fortunate enough, you may have a pension as well. So log on to the ssa.gov website to get your Social Security statement, and that will help you to at least get a general idea of how much Social Security income that you can add to that income for your month. Join us next time. Max and Denise, back to you.
There's no greater wonder, spell you got me under, whatever you ask of me, I'll go. So wherever you roam, that's where
Moving on to Sunday night, and there was a tremendous lineup on Sunday night. Cheryl Rouse, Cal Harris Jr., Julian Vaughn, Nick Coleon, Eric Daris, and of course, legendary Pieces of a Dream. So take a look at some of this. We're here for day 2 of the Derby City Jazz Festival, and Eric Daris just came off a stage, and of course, he killed it. Welcome to Louisville, Kentucky. Welcome to the Derby City Jazz Festival. You've been on the scene since about 2004. Tell us about how you got started.
You know, I started playing music when I was a kid. I was 10 years old. Come from a musical household. My dad plays the bass, mom sings and plays the piano, brother plays the drums, my sister sings, so music is in my blood. And I did my first CD when I was 16. I've been performing ever since, so I'm just doing what I love to do. And I'm so thankful I got to perform here at Derby City. We had a blast.
And we're so glad that you're here, and the crowd was really receptive to you. You had everybody up having a great time. So who are some of your inspirations?
Wow, I mean, long list. Definitely David Sanborn, Grover Washington Jr., George Benson, John Coltrane. The list goes on and on.
So when you're in the studio and you're trying to put something together, you know, what's your inspiration? How do you get started?
You know, it's different for me. This was my 7th album, the first album I've ever done as an independent artist on my own record label. So having that creative freedom was just a whole different experience for me. You know, when I write music, it's all about my life experiences, whatever I'm going through. And with this particular project, I felt this freedom just to make music exactly what I want to, from my heart to the listener's ears. And it was such a beautiful experience with this new project.
Hi, it's Tyler here, and we are at day 2 of the Derby City Jazz Festival. Okay, you have to excuse my height, guys. Are we fitting? We have a 5'2" and a 6'7". Yes. So work with us. I'm here with Julian Vaughn. He just got off the stage. He rocked it. If you could see, I'm kind of sweating a little bit because I was out there jamming with the crowd. Julian, is this your first time here in Louisville?
Yes.
And what do you think of the Derby City Jazz Festival so far?
I love it, and what makes Jazz Festivals fun for me is the fans and the audience. They really get into it, and that's what makes it so much fun to me. I love it.
Okay, now I know you have traveled around the world. You're a world-renowned artist, but where is your favorite place you've been to? What festival anywhere in the world?
I'm going to have to say it was this year, actually, in Mallorca, Spain. Yeah, that was my favorite. Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Google it.
So you have an album out, and this is what number album? I know you started in 2010.
Yeah, this is number 5, Supreme. And like I mentioned, my song Black Dynamite went #1 on Billboards for 2 straight weeks. So we're looking to keep the momentum going for my next singles.
I'm here with the man himself, Nick Corleone. As always, you've been here before. The crowd loves you. We love you. And thanks for your continued support.
Well, I love everybody here. This is a great crowd. A lot of love. I can feel it. I can feel the energy. So I love being here.
You just have there's no one like you in terms of the way that you do what you do. So how do you explain your style?
Well, let's see. SOS. Okay. Stuck on stupid. No, regular abandon. I just go out there and have fun. When I hit that stage, I feel like I'm at home. It's time to have fun, and if I'm having fun, people won't have fun with me. So.
Have you ever hit that point where you're like saying, I just can't do this anymore. I just want to go sit back and kick back and take it easy, or are you on the road a lot? So how do you strike that balance?
It's hard. I said that today. I don't know how I can keep doing this, but I've been moving all week, up at 2:30 and 3 going to the airport. But you know what? I can't see me doing anything else, When I got time down, I had some time down about a month or so ago, about a week. After 3 days, I was like, it's Wednesday. I should be packing,
Ready to get back on the road.
Ready to get back on the road.
Closing out the 4th year of the Derby City Jazz Festival. Can't end with a better act than one of my favorites. Got me through college. Pieces of a Dream. Wow. I'm here with James Lord. Man, just excellent, excellent, excellent.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Right. So, you just sound great. 40 some odd years in the game. How do you keep it fresh?
Wow. I think really it's our fans, the audience that keeps us around. It's their love and appreciation for us, and then we just try and give that all back to them through the music, and just keep it going. So that keeps us producing music, keeps us doing shows, and keeps us around. So it's coming up on 40. It'll be 43 years, October 19th.
Right.
And yeah.
So, did you ever think when you all initially started that 43 years later that this is what you would be doing?
Had no idea. When we started, it was just fun. We were just playing block parties and dinner dances and wedding receptions and stuff like that. And then we got discovered by Grover Washington Jr. When I was 14, 15 years old. And he produced our first 3 albums and played on them and took us all over the world touring, opening for him as pieces and performing in his rhythm section as well. So I grew up on the road with Grover. He's like dad to us, you dig? And the first album came out, I was a senior in high school. I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah, 1981. So, and here we are, this is the 24th record out now, On Another Note.
If you didn't catch us this year, make sure you catch us next year. We're the 2nd week of August every year. We're here at our new home, which is the Iroquois Amphitheater. And you know what? I think that's our show.
And that's our time.
And we'll see you back here next time on Urban Lifestyles.
Bye.
Bye-bye.